All right. I just did my Flonase. It's like allergy season over here. Just shot myself with some nose steroids. And I'm going to do my makeup, but I really wanted to come on and kind of send a little message of hope. Because, let's do this first. We're going to do our little tinted moisturizer. But because I feel like someone needs to hear this message. You know, when I get a message to share, watch out, world. But this one, I was just thinking how I almost wanted to say, like, blessed I am, and it is that. But a lot of what I'm going through right now, things have been, like, almost falling in my lap, okay? I'm going to say that again. Things have been falling into my lap. I'm probably going to do a separate video on this where I'm not doing my makeup and distracted, because it's an important message. But I've always felt like when I have faith and when I have confidence that things are going to work out, they work out. But we're humans, so like anyone, I also have those moments where I'm going to actually put this on top. I'm going to let it dry a little bit. This is my Mary Kay foundation. I have my moments where I'll doubt myself or feel like I need to chase something or do something better or do something bigger or whatever, right? Because we all, we're human. So we have these little human qualities, right? But I'm here to remind us, myself included, that when we let go, and it's like the law of attraction stuff too, a lot of people talk about. I view it as it's a God thing. And when you put your faith out there, like I know that God's got me. There's going to be ups and downs. Like no one ever said life is going to be just like easy breezy, right? It's not. There's going to be ups and downs. But overall, I know God put me here for a purpose. So as long as I'm listening and paying attention and trusting, then I'm going to live the best life that is meant for me and for others. It's not just about me, right? Like, so helping the people I am meant to help, all of that stuff. So in my work recently, I decided, I was like, it always feels against my grain to like promote myself, like sales and all of that. Like, I just feel like icky. I know it's dumb because obviously I have a business I need to sell, and I do. But I was like, I'm just gonna not really promote as much. Just take a step back. I'm still gonna like work on my behind the scenes stuff and organically see what happens. The second I decided that, the second I was like, you know what? I am going to give it to God. I'm going to almost like instead of reaching and chasing, I'm going to bring in what I know is meant for me. Like I'm going to trust that it's going to come. Because like God's in charge, so duh. Look what he's done with this place, right? So, and this is the Luminous 3D foundation. So, I decided that a couple weeks ago. In those last couple of weeks, I have gotten more organic people wanting to work with me, just like out of the blue, just random people I'm talking to are like, oh, like they're already in that world of healing and like they know people. People are asking me for my business cards, for my website. It's like an influx. And then even someone I know, a friend of mine, come on, I gotta get my goods out. One of my friends was basically like, hey, someone had, wrong bag, someone had a cancellation on an event, a live in-person event, and I thought of you. Would you like to host a live event? And this is like something I've wanted to do. We even talked about it like in the past, but the exact details didn't really like align at the time. Exactly, right? I won't get into all those details, but I was just like, not really for me, whatever. So I asked her, I was like, that sounds cool. I felt like an immediate, like, heck yeah, that'd be cool. And I was like, what are the details? And she told me the details. And I was like, that sounds perfect. And I will be getting paid a nice chunk of money. She is covering food and drink. And I get to help heal people and make people feel better for 3 hours. And connect with people. And do the thing I love. And it came to me, right? Like, it came to me rather than me reaching out like, hey, which I know it's part of business, it can be, but I find I get the most business and just the most joy in general. This doesn't have to be just business based, but I just notice it with business because I have my own business, and like, obviously I have to really keep up. Like, I have to have clients to survive. Like, I have to, to get paid, I've got to do this hustle. That was my mentality. But I find when I actually lean back and I say, I'm going to do the back end, I'm going to obviously have my well-oiled machine running, but I'm going to give it to God and know, oh, I forgot to put primer on, but I guess this stuff will work as primer today. But I know, like, it's all going to work out, right? Like, that is when the freaking magic happens. Where are my eyeshadows? I don't know where I put them. Well, I'm just going to use my Stila kitten today. So, I'm reminding everyone of this. Again, not just about business, but it's truly about faith. Like, if you really have faith, if you really can get to a point where you believe, God is looking out for you, and there's hard days, but those are the days you go, yeah, this is one of those times where we're going down a little bit. You're going to come back up, all right? Like, I'm reading Job right now. I'm reading through the Bible. Like, Lord help me get through the entire Bible in a year. But Job, right? The whole thing is there. He has a big low. Like, we're gonna have our lows. But if you have that faith that there are gonna be lows, but you're gonna recover, you're gonna come back from those lows. When you don't come back from the lows? When you don't have faith that you're gonna come back from the low. I remember when I was 18 years old. This is the Mary Kay liquid liner. One of my friends passed away, and I was extremely depressed. Like, I had never had that in my life. I wasn't a depressed person. I wasn't familiar with that darkness. I mean, it was very heavy. It was very dark. I was 18. My 18-year-old friend passed, just wasn't at school the next day, was gone, and my whole life was just like turned around. And not only was it I lost this friend, but it also makes you realize at 18 years old, I felt invincible, I'll be honest. I was one of those just like invincible people. And I was like, oh my God, we're not actually invincible. On top of this tragedy, now I gotta think about my own mortality and whatever, right? The thing is, my point is, it was a really dark place I was in. I was getting migraines, I was depressed, I wouldn't get out of bed, like, it was bad. It was a long time. I finally did get myself out of it. Did what I had to do to get out of it. And I remember something that helped me with that. I'm going to use the lash intensity. Actually, I'm going to use both. I like this combo. Lash love lengthening with the intensity, which is volume. But one thing that helped me with that is I just remember one of my friends saying, because I was like, I just feel like I'm stuck here forever in this like dark place. I really did. And a lot of people in dark places feel like that, or anxious places or whatever, right? And she looked at me and she was like, you're never stuck. You're not stuck. She was like, you have to know that you are going to come out of it. And that stuck. I was like, okay. Like, I took those words and just tried to believe in them. And I was like, I'm going to get out of this. So I just started like repeating to myself, I will get over this. I will get through this. It's normal. I feel this way. I mean, I'm 18 and one of my best friends died. This sucks. I'm going to get through this. So I shifted my thoughts. And that whole concept has helped me so much. And the fact I did get through it obviously was an even bigger help, because I could look back at that when I've gone through hard times. Like, when I remember thinking of that time when I was in my late 20s, 27, 28, I was with this guy and we were planning our lives together. We were looking at rings, we were looking at houses. We were going to get engaged and move in together and live happily ever after. Well, for privacy's sake, I don't like to go into details of relationships, just in case anyone knows me and knows him. I don't want to make anyone look bad. So I will simply say he kind of became someone different. He became someone different. Something caused something, and he became someone that I did not want to be with anymore. So I broke up with him. And I was devastated because I mean, we were planning our entire lives together, right? So it was like, what now? So I just put that lash love, and now I'm going to do lash intensity to beef them up. And yes, I did the breaking up, but I was really devastated. I remember feeling, oh my God, I'm older and I want to have kids and I want to have a family, and now I got to start over. It was like, it seemed, especially at that age, it was just really hard. And I remember thinking back to when I was 18 and I lost that friend and saying, I know I'll get through this, right? So I thought of that, and then I thought, I got through that, and I remember how dark a place that was. That was even darker than this. I'm going to get through this. And so part of it is just the faith, right? And it might seem simple, but if you have faith, you have everything. It's like, I know I'm going to have sad spots. I'm going to have anxieties. I'm going to have worries. I'm going to have doubts. I'm a human being, right? We're in a human world. But when you know that you will get through it and that you have God or whatever higher power, or I don't care what your belief system is. I hope you have something to lean on. Mine is God, right? God, Holy Spirit, whatever it is. When you know that you are going to be okay, you have that faith, there truly is nothing more you need. And so going back to this whole message, why this came up, because I was sitting here thinking and about the last few weeks, just how I shifted my mind to like, I'm tired. I just felt like, do you ever feel like something's against the grain of like what you're doing? And it just doesn't feel right. Like, I was posting more and like, oh, fall's coming, do my sessions, and it felt too much energy, like seeking. Like, I don't want to say like a desperate energy, like I can't live without, but like, oh, I need to do this to get this. Oh, I need to post every single day to get this. And it became like transactional, and that's not me. If you know me, I'm intuitive, I'm a feeler, I'm a connector, right? And I was like, I'm just gonna back up. I'm gonna back up because I know God told me in prayer many, many months ago, loud and clear, He said, impressed. I know it's not like a voice. If you know, if you're a God person, like if God talks to you, it's like an impression. You just like, it's a knowing, whatever. I call it an impression. But God impressed upon me and said, it's already taken care of, right? Do you know what a relief that is if you can actually surrender to that? If you can actually surrender to the fact that, like, he's going to take care of it. I don't have to fight this fight. There's someone fighting for me. I can sit back and freaking breathe and trust and watch. And the last few weeks, I've been mind blown by the things that are showing up in my life. And the same thing happened when I adopted my daughter, right before I adopted her. It was intense. Adoption is intense. It was very intense, and I was like, the only way I'm going to get through this is by trusting. And I remember praying, because they were telling me it could be 3 to 5 years. And I remember praying and being like, God, I know you're going to have the perfect child for our family. I trust that it will come when it's supposed to. I'm ready now. So I'm welcoming this child as soon as a child is able to, join our family. I am ready. And I did trust. It wasn't just BS prayer. It was like, I really did believe. I know God, and I know God's going to put the exact right fit for our family. And if it takes 5 years, that kind of sucks. But I'm okay with that. But I'm ready, God. And I was kind of saying, like, I'm ready. I'm here for it now. And literally, unheard of, 1.5 months later, we got picked. 1.5 months. Not 1 year. Not 3 years. 1.5 months later, and the social worker was like, I have never seen this in the history of this place. We had a match, and then, gosh, I don't even remember. In a couple months, it was a month or so more than that, we had the baby in our arms. So that was faith. I do believe faith is rewarded. Trusting is rewarded. So that is my big message for the day. Let me see what else I got here. My Mary Kay stuff is like in my closet. So I'm going to use this. This is Persona. I'm just going to do a little bit of cream blush. But that's the message. So do you have faith? Like, not like, oh, I have faith in God, yeah. Like, no. Do you have faith that even if you have downs, which we all do, even when the cards are down, do you have faith they will go back up again? And this, we can be tested on this one. We can have some like deep divots, right? I had a couple this year. This past year, I had one, well, they're two kind of tied in together, really tough spots where I was like, what is going on? What is happening? Where I was tested. And my emotions didn't feel like it was going to be okay. When I was up in my emotions, it was last fall, so it's almost been a year now. But it was in October. It started, and it was a couple months of some crap. And it was not comfortable at all. And I remember having emotions and being like, is it gonna be okay though? We're human. And I would, not perfectly, but as often as I could, go into prayer and be like, help me to remember that it'll be okay. Because it doesn't feel okay. It's not okay right now. It wasn't okay. But I knew it would get better, and it did get better. I honestly couldn't even imagine how much better it could be. Like last fall, I never thought it would be, even especially within a year. I literally would not believe that. I knew it'd get better eventually. I have that faith. I didn't realize how fast it would. Part of that is also so there's somebody involved who how do we put it? I'm always bad at this because I don't want to say too much. But there was someone who was very, very unkind and threatening and not cool. Okay? It was pretty not okay. And I prayed to God, obviously, for my own stuff, but I also prayed for that person still, even though that's not what humanity really wanted to do. I did pray for that person, and I did mean it, for their peace. Over and over again, that's all I prayed, every single night. I pray for their peace. I pray for their peace. I didn't have any idea how that would happen, and the circumstances, how they actually are living much more in peace, which in turn makes my life a lot more in peace, is a crazy story, but I can't disclose because privacy, and I will never do that to anyone, even if they may deserve it. So it's amazing how it all works. It's amazing. So keeping that faith and also remaining like, even if there's a bad situation, just knowing that it can turn around, and that keeping yourself pure, you know? Not holding on to the resentment and the anger. Saying like, yes, I'm going to protect myself. I'm not going to be in contact with that person. I don't need to take the bait. I don't need to be in their space, right? I don't need to, but I can keep the purity about me by praying for them still. That does not mean I'm a wuss. That means I think the more love and prayers you put out, the more come back to you. And just because everything's so related, right? So don't let those emotions, those feelings take over you. Because that isn't like the spirit part of us, right? So try to get as much to the spirit, as much to the love and joy and peace. Peace is like my favorite word in the world. Everything can come back to that in my mind, in my world. So where do you want peace in your life? And do you have faith that you'll get it? That's what I leave you with. And if you don't, if you feel like I really don't, I feel stuck, well, reach out. You can always message me, comment. You can find me on Instagram. Fierce Christy Jade on Instagram, I think. Message me. Hopefully I can help you. Or if you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, if you're a God person, go read the Bible. If you're just a self-help person, I can help you find books on that. I love self-help, if you don't know. There's someone at my door. But put the work in. You want to live a happier life? It does take work, but it can be way faster and more amazing than you think if you have that faith. Gotta have faith, faith, faith. Ooh, I gotta have. Yeah. That's my message for today. I'm going to go sit outside and enjoy a beautiful lunch in this cute little neighborhood nearby, and I'm just going to be. I'm going to just be because I can. There's a mess that I want to clean up right now, right here. There's some books I have to go through. There's a trash bag with something in there. I don't want to. I want to go enjoy the beautiful weather. And I'm allowed to, because guess what? God, He's taking care of it. That mess, it's taken care of. It might not be right now, it's taken care of, but it's taken care of. So the mess will be there when I return. I will probably deal with it later this weekend. And I wish you all faith. That's my message today. Okay? Deuces, love you. See you in the next video. I'll have new nails. I'm getting my nails done today. Woo! Say bye-bye to summer. Flamingos. I don't know if I'll get a design today. I might just get like a burgundy. Ooh, fall time. All right. What do you like better? Apple everything or pumpkin everything? Like pumpkin spice or apple? Put in the comments. Bye. Deuces.